Okay, now in this chapter, we're going to take a look at pivoting drills for agility. Our first one is the open out drill. There's two different patterns to this one. This is the first one. Looks like this. Go. The second option on this open out drill is to finish with side crossover steps. Will look like this. Go. Now we're going to take a look at a Swedish pivot drill. It involves forward to backward skating in the most game-specific situation. We never see backwards crossovers done in a full circle in the game, yet that's how in North America they practice all the time. Here's a better option for us. Swedish pivot drill. Looks like this. Here's the second option for our pivot drill. It would look like this. Go. Here's our third option for the Swedish pivot drill. Looks like this. Our next exercise is a Montreal pivot drill. It works like this. A player will be standing here on the blue line. As an offensive player comes down along the boards just before they reach the blue line, the player is going to open their hips and pivot. If they open and pivot and skate at an angle, they'll get beat every time. The player needs to open their hips and pivot and go straight back and try to stop the player down here by the dot as they're on an arc on the way to the net. Player has two options. The player can open all the way and pivot and go. That's what we're looking for. A player could put their foot down and then cross over and go back. Okay, let's run through the drill. Go. Go. Next. Move over to the left. Go. 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 Get him. Go. Go. Our next exercise is the first in a series of two from Jack Blatherwick on forward to backwards pivots in the game application situation. So it's going to look like this. Here's our second forward to backwards pivot application drill for a defenseman from Jack Blatherwick. Here it's in the offensive zone. As the defenseman's back on the point, they have to skate in for a tight gap, stop and come back out. And when the defenseman is also playing in the middle of the ice, has to go in to the other side. So right here along the boards. And in the center ice. Our next exercise is great for defensemen. It's forward, backward skating with passing and receiving and a one-time shot. Looks like this. In this next chapter of exercise, we're going to take a look at backwards quick starts. The variety of ways to start backwards. The first one is a simple toe push. So players are standing there, they point their toe in, and they push off with that toe, and they come right back backwards. Look at this again. The second type of backward start that we're going to look at is a crossover start. The crossover start is more powerful than the toe push, but it does have a weakness in that players end up sometimes making a big half circle around, and it puts them off to one side of the ice, leaving opening on the other side of the ice. So there's two ways to do this backwards crossover. We can do this backwards crossover with one step. So the player's standing here facing forwards, they turn sideways, cross over once, and accelerate straight back. Some players use two crossover steps, and they hop into this. They're standing here forwards, they turn sideways, and hop 1, 2. As well, this crossover step is used to gain mobility. So if we see a player driving up and they're too far wide on the side of us, we can take a crossover step to take off and seal them off along the boards. So our next backward start is to cross over once each way. Would look like this. Another type of start that's becoming very popular in the NHL is for players to pivot forwards and then pivot backwards. So it's like this. Players are standing there. They want to play a tight gap. They want to be in real close and stay inside the zone as long as they can. The player gets the pass and starts to skate up forwards. They pivot forwards, skate with the player, and then go pivot backwards. So it looks like this. The player's in there, they're watching the play, they open the hip, pivot backwards, play the guy.